nice to see friendly faces. So I think I'm supposed to look for Chelsea. Oh, there you are, Chelsea. Hi, Auntie. Hi, Auntie. Other Auntie too, back here. So this is my chichia, or grandma in our Ayajuthem language. Her name is Toxw, which means a woman of great wealth. Her English name is Elsie Paul. She was known as number 18 at St. Mary's Indian Residential School in Seychelles. She's an important person to me and always has been. We have a really special relationship. She's 91 now, and as she's gotten older, her hand signal game has gotten stronger. So this to close the curtains, this sit down, we're gonna have a talk. This, the people are getting together, and then of course this, give me the mic at the meeting in the hall, right? Growing up with Chichia, she was the one we loved and feared the most. She's Coast Salish royalty and highly respected up and down the coast. A mother of 9, social worker, justice of the peace, first woman elected to Tla'amin Council, and an absolutely legendary garage sailor. I began socially and then medically transitioning at the tender age of 20. This is 1998. There was barely an internet, and resources for trans folks were sparse. I moved to the city, got connected with the old gender clinic on West 12th, which was a one-stop shop for us back in the day. This creased letter was a fixture in my pocket for years, issued by a psychiatrist for use while I completed the real life test. That was the test where you had to prove you could pass without hormones in order to access hormones. So it was a real catch-22, obviously. And what it says is basically, I'm not cross-dressing for criminal purposes. The real crime were these pants, though, that I wore. This is the real crime right here. I waited till the last possible minute to open up and come out to my chichia. I was really worried. My voice was already cracking with hormones at the time, and I revealed to her what I had kept hidden, including deep feelings of depression and suicide. And I waited, and she didn't say anything. She just listened to me in the way of our old people, humming her acknowledgement, just listening to what was said and put forward on the table. The following Saturday, however, she came home from garage sailing with this t-shirt. You laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at you because you're all the same. With this simple gift, she expressed to me her acceptance of what was and her unconditional love. And then she sat me down. And she gave me an even bigger gift. She explained that my mom was only 18 years old and 7 months pregnant with me when my kukpa, my grandpa, passed away. At the age of 47, his death was sudden and he wasn't ready to go yet. And when people pass suddenly, she explained, they can be confused and caught between two worlds. That's my grandpa, my kukpa. This is why pregnant people are asked to stay away from the casket. You have a blanket to protect your belly. These blankets also are like good gossip in our community because you go to a funeral and you see who has a blanket and then you know who's pregnant. Stunned with grief, though, we didn't take these precautions, and this lapse in protocol allowed my kukpa to catch a ride in my still-forming self, mingling his spirit with mine, and with this telling, something I had not understood and felt shame and confusion about became a natural part of our Coast Salish order. Truth be told, Chichia was actually less concerned about my transness than she was worried I would pick up my kukpa's love for whiskey and chain smoking. And she was not wrong there. I've had to struggle for sure. But in all seriousness, she stood with me and provided me social and spiritual capital when few people would. So what does this have to do with my hopes for healthcare? The fact is it's getting worse out there for trans folks right now. When I transitioned in the late 90s, there was curiosity and confusion and a lot of dumb questions, but rarely was there this level of hate. Trans folks make up only about 1% of the population, but we've become like a cultural war target lately. Much money and effort is being spent to dehumanize us and strip us of our rights. This discourse is coming alive in schools, institutions, and workplaces in both the US and in Canada. Last month in my day job, I conducted a focus group with trans folks. We circled up. We spoke for hours and we covered a lot of ground, but 2 words stood out the most. Deafening silence. Anti-trans hate is made much worse by a lack of meaningful allyship. When people who have the power to step in the gap with us won't risk an argument, won't risk discomfort, won't risk a thing, it makes being trans harder than it needs to be, especially in today's climate. Because meaningful allyship, we know it works. We've seen it with anti-Indigenous racism, when non-Indigenous people with power stand in that gap, become willing to challenge their relatives and their colleagues, change happens. It's undeniable, and we've seen it. So my ask of you today is to unleash the strength of BC's 100,000 plus workers to make things better for trans folks. At work, in our care settings, and at home, at our dinner tables, people in this room and streaming have influence, you command respect, our families look up to you, and what you say matters. In closing, Jillian Brandstetter, a spokesperson for the ACLU, was recently quoted saying, "I've said for years that if we, as trans people, are going to be a priority for our enemies, we also need to be a priority for our friends." So while not everyone can be or have a chicha, we can all be like chicha. So let's see you lift your hands, reach for the mic, spend some capital, share some power, because what you say and even what you don't say matters a lot. Thanks for listening. Chacha ha na tonpech. Ima.